Hey, so I'm trying to post more videos. So this video is gonna be a review of a new show on CBS called East New York. Um, it's about a female. It has a female lead detective. No, I'm sorry, a female lead captain, and it takes place in East New York. And from what I understand, they shot a lot of scenes in East New York, Brooklyn, New York City. And I'm just gonna give my thoughts on the show. It's two seasons. It's two episodes in right now. So this is the first season of um, East New York. The first season, East New York, is episode one. I'm gonna be doing a review of episode one and two together. So I'm just gonna give you my thoughts because I didn't really take notes, but I'm just gonna give my feedback of what I think of the show. So far, I think the show is, first of all, I like the concept. I like that they're putting a spotlight on East New York, which gets a bad rep for, East New York gets a bad rep for the neighborhood. It's not the safest neighborhood. It's, a lot of crime, it's high crime. So I'm glad that they decided to give East New York a show to kind of like put the spotlight on East New York. And East New York is becoming a developing, like it's things are starting to change. Changes is coming about. So let me see, let me recollect. Um it's a black female lead captain. So she's new, so all the people that's at the precinct, they're talking about like, okay, who are they gonna get to replace the person that was there before. And so, oh, she's at a salon. This is how the pilot episode starts, because it's a new show. New shows usually have pilot episodes. That means it's new concept, everything is fresh. So the pilot episode starts with her, I believe she's in East New York in a nail shop getting her nails done or something. And then someone comes out, oh, it's this white family that goes into a dollar van, which is basically a van that transport people from point A to B. So they get into the dollar van, and as they're coming in the dollar van, someone else comes out of nowhere, like in a ski mask, telling the dollar van driver, "Give me all your money." And so the dollar van driver, instead of just giving him whatever he wants, he takes out his gun. So now it's a shootout. The family, the white family, for some reason, well, the family came out of the van like, what's going on? See, me, I would have stayed in the van, because what I'm not gonna do is get involved with something that don't have nothing to do with me. So they get out of the van, and the white guy gets shot, the van driver gets shot. So after all these shots is fired, people are screaming and running around. The captain comes out of the store, sees the guy who shot the white man on the floor, and pursues the criminal. So she's running through the streets chasing this guy, and she didn't have a clear shot. So that guy ends up getting away. So so then police come on the scene, and that's when we're introduced to the other officers that's going to be in the precinct. I believe they say it's the 94th precinct, which is not a real precinct, because of course they couldn't use the actual precinct that's in the real East New York, because it's fictional, it's a television show, so they got to use fake precincts. So they meet the other officers, the lead detectives on the squad. They're not really sure about her. I think they asked the captain, what's going on with her, like what's the deal. Not the captain, they asked another officer. So they're still filling each other out. So okay, now the guy ends up going to the hospital. The van driver ends up going to the hospital, and he's basically on life support. and they're trying to figure out, well, why were they targeting you? Oh, there's an officer that I like. She's young, ambitious. Um, she's white. Not that that matters, but it plays a part because there's a lot of race tension in this show, so it does play a part. So she's white. So the captain, when she comes in, she has new initiatives that she wants to put in place. So one of those initiatives is she wants to integrate the police with the neighborhood, with the community, because back in the day, officers used to know the people that was in the community. They used to have a close relationship, so it wasn't a question of who's who and who's up to what. They were more familiar with the neighborhood and things of that sort. So the new initiative is she wants cops to volunteer to live in the projects, free rent, which is a plus, but it's still like your life is at risk because people don't really mess with the police, and you want to live in a place where you feel comfortable. So the first one to volunteer was the young lady that I spoke about earlier, which is the young, ambitious, white, Caucasian female cop. I like her. She volunteered, and the captain was like, "Are you sure?" She was like, "Yes." So she's very ambitious. The first day she goes into the project building, people are giving her looks like, "What are you doing here? You don't belong here." And somebody spray painted pig on her door of her apartment. So there's another fellow officer in there that kind of, I would say it would be like the father figure because he has a lot of years on the job. And he told her, "Listen, I know you feel like you don't need help," but he gave her a walkie-talkie and he said, "If you ever need help, call for backup. Like, don't feel like you could do it on your own. I'm here to help you." So I'm not gonna give a play-by-play. All I'm gonna say is I like the show so far. I feel like it's gonna be picking up soon. It's running, it's going like a little slow as far as like the plot lines and the storylines, but stuff is starting to come together. Um, the episode 2, I like the fact that they highlighted that some murders take priority over other murders based on classism and elitism as far as like the food chain of the wealthy. So in episode 2, a rich wealthy guy gets murdered, and then also around the same time a young teenager from the projects gets murdered, and they basically, his case is getting cold, and his father came to the precinct and expressed his frustrations because they're understaffed, so there's not enough detectives. So he's like, "Nobody contacted me about my son's murder." He's about to take matters into his own hands. So the captain, the female black lead captain, she's aware of that. She's speaking out against the injustices, and she's saying she's trying to put all her energy into making sure that murders don't get unsolved, that people feel heard, that people don't feel like their life doesn't matter because of the fact that they don't have money or they're not high on the list of things to do based on where they're from. So I like that they highlighted that, and in the end, they did end up finding the person that murdered him. It took a lot, and they saw both murders. I like the direction that the show is going in. You can leave your thoughts if you saw the show. Let me know if you liked it. Some people don't like it. I feel like it's a new show and it's gonna pick up soon. It's gonna get more complex with the storylines. I'm interested to know about I forgot to tell you that the captain, being that she shot somebody on a plane in the first episode, in the pilot, they have to do a psych eval. So during her psych eval, the conversation of her father came up, and that was like a sore topic for her. So she basically told the lady that was giving her psych eval that that's not what we're here to talk about. So I feel like they're gonna delve more into that, because I guess her father was a cop as well. I don't know if he died on the job or whatever the case was with that situation, but her father was a cop. And it makes sense. Well, it kind of makes sense that she's a cop and that she holds herself to another standard. And they're also gonna. I want them to also develop the storyline of the officer that chose to live in the projects, because I feel like she definitely has a backstory that is interesting, and I'm looking forward to see how this show goes. I hope they don't cancel it, because for some reason with a lot of new shows, they only give it one season to take off, and then if it doesn't take off in the first season, they just axe it. So I'm hoping that this is not a show that they axe, because I think they're talking about good things that we need to talk about the community and the police relationship with the community. So I feel like they're talking about important topics that we need to talk about. So I hope that they don't axe the show. I hope people I hope it gets more viewership so that the storylines could develop. So that's my little synopsis. I know I didn't go play by play, but I definitely want to implore you guys to check out the show. It's called East New York. It's on CBS. I believe it comes on. I'm not sure the day it comes on, so don't quote me. But check it out. I believe you could even watch clips on YouTube. If you type in East New York CBS, it should pop up. Thank you.